Do like I guess a clap.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Shit.
That's a good introduction, I think. Hello, internet. Welcome back to the Seth is Me channel. I am me. I am Seth, as always. I'm no one else. Uh, I'm joined here with Hippie Rat.
Hey, oh, hi, hello.
Robert. Hello. How are you doing today? How are things?
Pretty good, pretty good.
That's good to hear. All right, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump into this 42-minute podcast. You're going to hear this as soon as the time is up.
All right.
And yeah, let's jump into it.
All right.
So, Robert, let's talk about your introduction into the community. How you got here, where you came from. I guess just, general. What sparked you coming here?
So, I guess this is a fun story. So, I first got interested in ERB back in 2013. It was like a few days after Wright Brothers versus Mario Brothers came out.
Okay.
I binge watched the whole thing like overnight. I think some friends of mine in fucking middle school so long ago
Dang, yeah.
told me about Stephen Hawking versus Einstein. I watched through it, thought it was a fun novelty. Didn't really get too hooked until like Bill Gates versus Steve Jobs.
Right.
After that I went from like casual viewer to like, wow, this is really great. I like really, really into this.
For sure.
I found the wiki, I think, sometime between Steve Jobs versus Bill Gates and Frank Sinatra versus Freddie Mercury. I think sometime between that. Kind of.
Okay. Right. That big hiatus they had there, yeah.
I kind of just kind of was a casual wiki user. Got an account a little while later. I think I opened my wiki account the day Babe Ruth versus Lance Armstrong was released on video.
Okay.
I was always just kind of, it was always in the comments of each of the, like the main articles for like each new ERB would come out. It was always
right.
like ERB 37.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I would always be in like the comments of that, just kind of speculating, and I'd always I guess a good a good foreshadowing of what's to come was I would always get jokes about how all of my comments would always be like such long paragraphs.
Right.
That was fun.
Now, back then, I'm not sure if it was you or not. I remember I had some interactions with some Wikians when I'd make those troll audios on my Zombie Liquor account. And I feel like we may have conversed a little bit back then.
I feel like I doubt it. I feel like I don't think I was always one to like fall for troll audios. I would sometimes fall for a couple troll hints and a couple troll cover arts. I remember one really shitty cover art for like when it was actually going to be Babe Ruth versus Lance Armstrong, I think, and it was like someone made a troll cover art of Archimedes versus Stephen Hawking, and it was just Stephen Hawking from Einstein versus Hawking, and then just a dude in like just a dude in an old looking robe, and I fell for it for some reason.
Holy shit, confirmed. Oh my god.
And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was. So I doubt I fell for one of maybe.
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I just thought the name Hippie Rat reminded me from back then, but it could have been someone else. It might have very well been someone else. I don't know. Someone got really pissed off at me. I know that. Someone was on my ass every time I released one of those.
God, that sounds like something I would do back then.
But yeah, so yeah, you found yourself on the wiki. You made your account.
Yeah, eventually I started writing It actually, I started writing battles kind of earlier on, and then didn't choose to start releasing them to the wiki until a little while later, like a couple years later.
Right.
It was like first battle I ever wrote, Bob Marley versus Jimmy Buffett, back in June of 2013.
Oh wow.
Weirdly
Yeah.
enough, I keep looking back on that one, and it holds up much more than like a lot of the later ones I would write.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. Um,
I mean, hey, you know, if it does, it does.
um, Later on, it was Freddy Fazbear versus Slenderman by Video Game Rap Battles. I kind of noticed, like, out of all battles to like kind of make this click in my head, it was that one. But it was just like, wow, this battle in particular, not a lot to it, huh? Not a lot of in-depth
Right.
lyrics.
Right.
And that was the first battle I reviewed. It was a blog post on the wiki.
Right.
I made 10 more. I'm sorry, it was only 9 more reviews, so a total of 10 blog post reviews on the wiki. The last one being where I reviewed like 15 or 16 written down in blog post wiki battles, which was
Oh my
God, and a half to write.
I can imagine. Jeez.
Imagine if I did a video on that one. That would have been like, I don't know, peaking 4 hours maybe.
Shit.
And it was first video review was, what was it, Doctor Who versus Bill and Ted. And that was actually a suggestion for review from Eric, Dragon's Blood 23.
Right.
So shout out to him for accidentally kickstarting my video career.
Hey, good job, Eric.
Also shout out to him for being the first person I did a roll for.
Oh, nice. Right. Of course.
I think it was that same summer too. It was like I was working on the video for that first review I did, which the video doesn't hold up, so don't go watching it to anyone listening. And in that summer, I did my first review. My first role. It was Kirk Fogg of
Okay.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. Just a quick little 8-line roll in a royale.
Right.
That was pretty fun. I liked.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool that, I don't know. It's nice when you, I guess, get your first role.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's just a cool feeling. You're like, you know, it's further into the production of this thing you've been a fan of. Yeah.
It wasn't recorded all that well. I wasn't. I knew that he didn't like do like all that mixing and stuff. So, like
right.
I didn't know the process behind mixing as well, which became much more evident as time would go on. So it was the one take wonder, that one. I literally I played the beat through the computer and recorded the video of and just rapped over it.
Oh my god.
It was great.
Oh.
I think it's still technically my best role. Technically.
Just because
I haven't had many roles yet.
Oh my god. I remember the days of one taking. I used to think, I don't do it much now. Actually, I almost never do it now because I'm more looking for, I don't know, just a finished product overall rather than, I don't know.
I noticed almost like way too often at this point. I'm constantly doing like more than a necessary amount of takes. Like,
right.
Almost every line I do a new take, and it's just like I feel like I shouldn't need to do that for a lot of the lyrics. And
right, it makes you feel like, am I really rapping or am I just saying these sentences?
Exactly.
You know.
So it's...
Yeah, I get that. I try and do 2 to 4 lines per take. I think that's fair if you either do it in the couplets. But there are some battles where I have to do um the single lines, but then it's also there are times when the flow's so specific that even the flow test has one line divided into 2 takes.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, now I'm doing half lines. Like, am I gonna have to do each word eventually? Each word a different take?
I think my biggest issue with like the process of doing that is like when I listen back to it, it's like maybe I was slightly further away from the mic. Maybe I put like just a slightly different intensity into my voice. But it just becomes like this. It's this like constant loop of just like listening back and just like you hear like So you'll get like it's and so like I have to like
a little more
shit. Like I just have a huge dropout.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's obvious where it cut and stuff, and it's just like
yeah, I
don't know. I'll figure that shit out someday at this point, but damn, that is annoying to have to deal with.
Oh yeah, I don't think there are many people who do things in one take these days, though.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's just not an efficient thing to do if you're going
most of the time when people do anymore, it's mostly like a lapse in communication.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I think the big reason I actually even did the Doctor Who vs. Bill and Ted review, there's a few factors, okay?
Yeah, sure thing.
One was because at the time I was getting a lot, and I mean a fucking lot of inspiration from the person who's still my favorite YouTuber, Quentin Reviews.
Okay, yeah.
He does a lot of it's hard to explain what exactly he does a lot of like really in-depth reviews about a lot of niche topics, like a lot of like his own childhood stuff, then like just like some like lesser known movies. Like some of my favorite videos from him are like his review of the All Grown Up Halloween special, which was like his childhood trauma video.
Yeah, for sure.
His review of Grave Encounters 2, and it's just like just some bad movies, and he finds a way to like make these reviews like super long and filled with humor, and so it was always like I wanted to kind of emulate that.
Right.
And he was a huge Doctor Who fan, and I figured like if anything, just like a nice I don't know, it's poetic to me that like my inspiration is such a huge fan of Doctor Who, and the first review I do is a Doctor Who related piece of content. So
yeah, absolutely.
The other reason was because I don't know why I was so dead set on this bit, but it was the Edward Scissorhands neighborhood bit where it was like like the Circle K, the Circle K was
right.
In the video was like it was a real picture from a blog post of someone who visited the actual San Dimas, California, that was like given a fictional spin in Bill and Ted, but like it looked nothing like the version of like it looked nothing like the Circle K from Bill and Ted, so it was just like, why do that?
Right.
And
right. Yeah, for sure.
And so like I figured like as a joke I would be like, oh well, I live in the place where they filmed the actual Edward Scissorhands, so I can drive over. It was like 20 minutes away. It's not 20 minutes away anymore. It's like 3 hours away because I'm in Gainesville now. But it was it was like 20-minute drive. Went there. I would film a bit where I show the house, and it's like, this would be like just this with no edits would be Edward Scissorhands' background by your logic. And I don't know why I was so dead set on that bit, because it's such a stupid, unfocused bit in like looking back on it, and it just unnecessarily stretched out my videos, which is a trend for like my first few videos. Like I would always defend my bits and stuff as like, no, it was a funny bit, but it's not. It was just like an unfocused bit that, you know, like I could have concisely went over literally everything that I
Right.
did in the Seven Deadly Sins Royale review, but like cut out all the unnecessary garbage, and it would have been cut down to like a 20-minute video.
Right, for sure.
I
For
could
sure.
have done that,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
understand that.
um.
I mean, I don't know.
So that's just something I plan to work better at in the future now.
Yeah,
just
no, for sure.
A lot less
I didn't.
unnecessary diversions.
I don't mind the bits. I think they add. I personally think they add a bit of fun. They add a bit of originality.
It depends. It depends. 'Cause,
Right.
like, looking
right.
back, it just cringy, and I feel
okay.
like I, while filming, forgot the point of it while filming, and then as an audience member, I can't follow the point I'm making, and I made the video, so it's just like
right. You're even confused, right?
Yeah, I confused me a year ago confused me today, so it's just like
Yeah.
I,
Oh my god. Oh wow. All right. So any other like major inspirations, or is that the
Nightmind. He
Nightmind?
also
Okay.
he also the king of super long in-depth analysis videos. This
Right.
time specifically for mostly horror-based web series and ARGs and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very entertaining YouTuber. He and Quentin Reviews are my absolute favorite YouTubers at this point.
Okay.
And they're definitely my biggest inspirations in terms of reviewing content.
Are you saying Chills isn't an inspiration?
As a matter of fact, no, I am not saying that.
I never said those words.
Nor would I ever.
Right, of course not.
Man.
Of course not.
I still need to make those videos. I still need to make some fucking...
Of course.
God, he is a problematic character.
Yeah. All right, let's
the Seven
get
Sins Royale review.
Yeah, let's get a little bit controversial, I guess. I guess it's not so
You call
much.
it that.
I guess it's not so much anymore, but at the time it was a big deal.
It's just
When
just
this
a bad
review
memory.
dropped.
It's
Yeah?
just the tone.
Oh my god. I wanna kind of get your whole perspective on just from releasing this to watching people talk about it to the arguments it created. Like this one review. Like I don't know. It's just insane to me. You know, from the outside. I don't know. I just want to hear. You know, if we're being honest, it's not even so much just the review. I think it was just things that also happened around the same time.
Oh yeah.
That spiraled into other things. It was just a whole mix of things. The review, I know that there were people upset with it, and a lot of people joked about it, which obviously made you upset because I know that you did put time and effort into it. You know.
That's the
Like it's.
I'll be honest. Like the jokes about it's just always like the jokes about like whenever I'm like trying to just communicate an idea or a thought or something, and it's just like Rick and Morty, haha, intellectualism, haha, r/I am very smart. And it's just like it completely undermines what I'm trying to get across, and it's just it
Right.
just digs into me a lot.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I think there are, you know, there are better ways to go about just handling what you're saying in general. You know.
I was just easily offended at the time. I still am.
No, that's yeah.
So I did the review. It was my second fucking video. No, it wasn't my second video. It wasn't my second video because I did the Jigsaw review too. So it was fourth.
Right. Okay. Fourth. Okay. Right.
The Jigsaw review is also kind of a shitty video. So, the tone really was just what did it. And the real reason why it had such a crazy fucking tone was because one of the wiki battles that I had reviewed was Jigsaw versus Gladys, and a lot of like the issues that I had with that battle were attributed to Mancha's writing.
Right.
And he actually responded to that specific review. I had no clue how he stumbled upon it. I guess that was just I guess someone sent it to him, like someone just sent him the link, and he chose to respond. And he actually like explained like that he was working on the Seven Deadly Sins review. The Seven Deadly Sins Royale. You know, it was moved over from ERBP to Uberosity. At the time, I had no clue why that was, but now I fully understand all that crap. And I figured that like after my review, a lot of like there would be a lot more focus into the writing. Didn't quite happen. It was just personally disappointing to me.
Okay.
But then like also, and I learned later on, after a few rewrites of the script, which by the way, another issue with it was the script for that, in bits and pieces of it were rewritten multiple times. So there's just like, it's just a mess.
Okay. Yeah.
But there was a lot of parallels that I noticed between, specifically the final product and what I referred to as the trash prediction lyrics, which was it's not, my version's not good. The version that I wrote back when ERBP started advertising the battle, I think it was 2015. So like 2 years before the 2 years before the battle would finally be released.
Right.
They had released a bunch of hints. They would release pretty much almost all the characters, except for Frankenstein. And I just made like a prediction version of it. Went through the characters, wrote my own lyrics for that. And there was just there were a few lyrics that seemed to like be directly parallel to mine, almost as if when Mancha visited the wiki to comment on that review I did, he would be 2 clicks away from seeing my prediction lyric version of that.
Okay.
And, he said that he was working on the writing at the time. So my brain at the time just kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Right.
My version included bits like Northwest of Hungary, which was very forced lyric, but also why I knew immediately the Hungary lyric was wrong, because I had almost made the same exact mistake.
Right.
There were things like I had a joke about like stage directions being written in like brackets and italics for Macbeth, which again seemed to be paralleled perfectly from that to that.
Right.
But the kicker to me was when the video was released and Dante was revealed to be in the video.
Right.
Something that I had written into my prediction version 2 years prior.
Right. Okay.
So it was just, I was very paranoid. Like, did he just plagiarize a bunch of my ideas?
Right.
And I've learned since that that's not the case. The case is more.
No.
The case was actually, my prediction lyrics were actually just really good predictions.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. Honestly,
they really were.
That's how it went.
But that was why my tone was so angry, because I legitimately at the time, thought I was being plagiarized, and it would just.
Yeah.
And then iDubbbz, he did the content cop on Rice Gum, and I think, holy shit, that may have been a year ago today he did that.
Really?
I don't
You
know. It's
know,
September 28th today. That may have been a year ago today.
wow.
Um, if you've seen that video, it covers this YouTuber going through like what his problems are, going through the list of the 7 deadly sins, and it ended in a diss track.
Right.
So
Of course.
I decided I would
Of
make
course.
a bit where I do the same thing.
Yeah, no.
Hurricane
yeah.
Mancha sucks. It's garbage.
Hey,
well, the writing's good.
listen. Right. I'll
It's
give you that.
hilarious.
I'll give
it's
you
a
that.
very
It is. It is. It's fun to look at. It's fun to watch. Despite
it's not fun to watch. It's fun. It's fun to read the lyrics.
But despite it maybe not showcasing the way you expected.
Oh, you know,
It's still. I don't know. To me, it's just.
I didn't have the resources. I didn't know the process behind the talent behind it at the time. All I knew at the time was how to write good, funny diss lyrics.
Right.
And I succeeded.
Yeah. Well.
In that, as sort of jokingly, I could have communicated it so much better than I did. But in that, I was like, I kind of rose the challenge of like, hey, you responded to this previous review. Respond to this one. Tell me what the heck was going on with it. You told me you were going to do better, but no, you did worse. And it's just... I was like, something about everyone on Discord being like, damn, this diss track and a half on your ass and you're too slothful to strike back. That's sad.
Right.
And apparently they literally did it.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until actually recently, because no one actually told me that that's actually what happened, but apparently they literally went and did that.
Right.
And I think that's just freaking hilarious. And I could have communicated it better. What I had wanted out of this situation was like a legitimate like conversation of like what makes good lyrics and stuff, and I wanted to see like but then I got a diss track toward me, and it was just making jokes out of the incompetency of my video, and it was just like, and I was offended.
At this point, I think you can understand when this video came out, right?
Oh yeah.
They saw like there were parts, you were right to the point. I was being very, very. Your rhymes are profound, motherfucker. So you can understand.
Hard R, motherfucker,
why,
too.
So you can understand why they didn't respond right away and why it was in the form of a diss track.
What's that?
I said you can understand why they didn't respond right away and why it was in the form of a diss track when they did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I totally get it now. Like
yeah,
both parties were in the wrong.
Yeah.
I'd say especially me, but I don't know. It's kind of debatable. I don't know.
I don't know.
I like to be humble, but sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I understand. I want to talk a bit about your future content then.
Future content?
Like what kind of direction do you plan to take your channel
away from rap battles.
Your future works.
Away from rap battles.
You think so?
Why? Well, rap battles were always kind of just a starting position for me. Like, I saw like there was a little bit of an audience for them. And I figured like, oh, I could probably get a decent amount of audience out of this too.
Yeah.
But I was kind of just mistaken, because like the route that I prefer to take my critical analysis is nowhere near like the way that other people prefer. It's
yeah.
So like it's just not feasible for me to like build like a decent following off of rap battles at this point. And either way, it feels like everything I'm saying is just blown into the fucking wind because it's all bullshit still. And it's like the more even like Wallace saying, it just still continues to be bullshit. And it's like some people have improved since like Beast versus Freddy Fazbear, legitimately great. Like that like explored the characters very fucking well. Thanos versus Monica, same deal. It explored the characters really fucking great. But it's just I've been dealing with the Baldy versus Granny situation.
That's
this is hilarious to me.
I've been seeing little. I've been pretty busy, but I've been seeing just a little, snippets of what's going on there.
It's absolutely hilarious to me because it's just like he actually like this is one of very 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 few battles that really has something to say and says it. Yet I just see so many people who are just so arbitrarily opposed to it's, and that's really what it is. They are arbitrarily opposed to this battle because it's video game rap battles doing a battle that is set to get a ton of views.
Right.
And I know it's very hard to say the words Baldi's Basics versus Granny Horror Game was a very thought-provoking and legitimately great substantial battle, but that's the situation that occurred. Yeah. And I think the big issue is really that every time like a bad battle occurs and like people recognize it as bad because it's like appallingly bad, because like I'm gonna be very controversial here. I will just fucking say it. More than should be. Most battles are bad. Most of these battles are bad.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's I wish I didn't have to say that. I wish that wasn't the case, but I honestly feel at this point like that is fully the case. It just, most of these battles have nothing to them substantial wise, nothing to them meaning wise. I get pleasantly surprised. I get pleasantly surprised by the opposite occurring. But so often, I will specifically attribute the distaste for Baldy versus Granny specifically to Justin's 2017 battles. Specifically his Baldy battles, because those battles are recognized as bad.
Right.
As, they should be. They were not really good battles.
Right.
But when people, try and figure out why they were bad, they misattribute it to, the fact that he's reusing these characters. He's using Bendy again and again. And it's like, oh, he's running out of things to say about these characters. Oh, he's just doing it for the views. And it's like, yeah, sure. But, also, if you look at his first Bendy battle, he had nothing to say also. That battle had nothing of substance as well. It was just that the writing was bad. You can make a good, well-written Bendy battle. I'm not going to attempt to do so, most likely in the
right.
But you can most likely do it.
It's possible. Yeah.
But it's just and so when you get extremely, I guess the word would have to be clickbait in this case, and use an extremely clickbaity character. Then there's just a stigma immediately, and I know the word, it's so difficult to say Baldy versus Granny rap battle was good, but was it?
Right.
It's very hard to make a stance when right from the beginning people just immediately have a stigma just based off of the title alone.
Right.
And
And
I just think it's bullshit.
If people don't like it for other reasons besides just the title, then I
I'm
don't
okay
know. I
with that.
think
Yeah, like Fell
yeah,
doesn't like
yeah,
this battle, and like I totally understand. You know, he gave like a legitimately good point. Ironically, like the reasons he doesn't like it are actually like the same parts of the battle that I specifically like it for. Um,
okay.
I'll be making my own video explaining all that
Yeah, of
later,
course, of course.
um, like I understand that you can have that opinion. I just
Yeah, for
don't
sure.
think I don't think you can have the opinion of I saw the title and I don't like the title, so I don't like the battle.
Right. I can understand that. Yeah.
I don't
I
think that's an
I
opinion
get
you
what you're
should be
saying.
able to have, or at least if you do have that opinion, you shouldn't be able to act like that opinion is as substantial as another opinion. You know?
Right. Yeah. I think things are at least definitely always worth, giving a chance.
Yeah.
If you're just yeah, yeah. I get that. I completely understand.
And so it's just like at this point, I've just been dealing with this argument way too long. Like obviously I'm not making enough of a stance to like I just don't have
Right.
I whether it's I don't have the credibility or people are just inherently opposed to it because here's the issue. Matt Forio is a joke. And it's not that like he
Mm.
is a joke in and of himself. It's just that he's treated as a joke at this point because he takes rap battles and he looks at them from an intellectual standpoint. And
Okay.
that's another
Yeah.
thing. The word intellectual is a joke. It's all just a joke at this point. And
Right.
like I don't know about you, but like the words rap battle content is already sounds stupid enough.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so why reinforce the idea of it being stupid? Why can't we just try to make it a little bit smarter? Just try.
I
I
get
don't
that.
feel like
I get that.
just god damn. So I'm just fucking done with the bullshit. I think I'm just gonna finish up like the rap out related content that I have done a bunch of work on already.
Mhm.
Maybe one or two more if the time ever comes, but I doubt I'm going to be returning to it anytime soon.
Right. No,
Most of
that's
my
fine.
most of my time will now be devoted pretty much to film review, assorted like YouTube content analysis.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Who likes?
Yeah, changing direction's fine. Sometimes it's necessary,
Yeah, I wish it wasn't.
for your own. Yeah.
I wish I could have. I like. It's just a fight that I feel like I cannot win at this point, and
Right.
I'm just giving up. I don't want to keep fighting this stupid fight. It's just a never-ending bombardment of just not
Right.
even just opposition, just arrogance.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be able to see your perspective on it,
Yeah,
like on
thank you.
that side of things, because I think it's important to to know how both parties and both sides
Yeah,
are affected. I think that's very important.
I may uh
And
I may like regain my interest in the genre once like ERB season 6 comes around, but
for sure.
cuz like ERB, holy shit, who would have guessed that the people who inspired all this content in the first place also happened to put meaning into it. Holy shit, what a fucking unheard of.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't know. There's a big debate, of I guess how much seriousness should be put into battles. There's been this debate, I guess, for a long time.
Yeah.
As you see, for people like me who have been doing it for 5 years, I I don't know. I put I feel like myself personally, I put too much into it over the last couple of years, just trying to I don't know, like I guess going really try hard trying to just I just took the whole thing too seriously. We'll just say it that way. Um,
I think my
so
thing
you know,
is
I've had to it led to burnouts and needing to take a step back and a couple times on a couple occasions.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think my thing is it doesn't have to be taken seriously, but
Right.
like it should be taken just about as seriously as any other, piece of comedy should be taken.
Okay.
And it's like
Yeah.
comedy isn't like serious, but
No.
it will cover serious topics sometimes. It will cover it will treat things in a like it'll apply sort of an artistic expression toward serious issues and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I
For
feel
sure.
like this is just another platform to do it. It's intriguing because it's an entertaining form of argument,
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely possible to
and I
be
feel like it's just not being treated like that.
right.
So it's not that it
I
has
get
to be
that.
serious, but it should be taken seriously to a sense.
So how do you feel about joke battles?
Oh, I don't like joke battles. I mean, like,
All right.
I
All
like
right.
some joke battles that like actually like kind of explore new ideas for like how the writing can be bad and stuff. But
Right.
if it's just like a list of in jokes and stuff, I just can't.
Okay.
It's just not for me because it's just like
Right. Right. Yeah, I know that's always been a big thing too. There are a bunch of people who like them and a bunch who don't.
yeah.
But, I think it's just going to be that way with most things, honestly. Like, when it comes to battles at least, I think it's been like that since the beginning. People have always had contrasting opinions, conflicting opinions. And I
Definitely.
don't know, it might I'm not sure if it's just reached a point that's, like a heightened point or what. I'm not exactly too sure.
Yeah, joke battles are just kind of they just feel like a distraction.
Yeah.
Like you could take your time and make something like worthwhile, or you could just or you could just spend your day making intentional garbage.
Mm.
And excuse me for choosing the former.
I mean, hey, it's whatever.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh,
oh shit! Wow, that was
that is the
perfect.
timer. Damn. All right.
Yeah, we wrapped it up in exactly 42 minutes.
Perfect. Hey, there we go. Well, thank you very much, Robert, for coming on here.
I love to be here.
And
Thank you.
to the viewers, of course, whoever's watching this, you can check out Robert's stuff. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. If you like
Yes.
this video, give us a thumbs up. Give him a subscribe. Uh, give him a subscribe. Let me know in the
If you enjoyed
comments.
me in a podcast, definitely subscribe because there may be an announcement or two about a podcast, perhaps maybe sort of.
Ooh, ooh, interesting. Yeah, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you or who you want to see, I guess, in future episodes in the comments. Maybe even yourself, if you're that lucky. I'm joking. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.